come across various characters, peer pressure and stuff, and want to submit what we've been told at home, We don't want to stood up to those extra ideas of naughtiness and stuff, and stood your ground that, look guys, this is not good, and that fewer people of my age would do that. The rest just goes with the flow, and that's always comes out with bad results. Yeah. So I think if the Department of Education could at school try revisit, these morals, regeneration and stuff, emphasize, that if there's a saying which a leader which is not which does not want criticism, like myself, I'm a leader of my area, but if I'm not, I don't want criticism as a leader, I am bound myself to self-destruct, because as a leader, you got to be molded, by a number of people, by a number of things, and you then become a very good, leader, which is exposed into all kinds of, things, yeah. Madiba is just a living, example of that. They were put to school, they were afforded everything by my great-grandfather, but when the issue of them having to marry, simply because it was fixed, marriages, then they told themselves, no, we're not putting up with that, so we better, start our own, kind of, experiment out of that, of the parent, It landed him in jail at the end of the day, Even my grandfather, Justice, never stood the test of time, because he drank himself up, that he had to leave us, early 1974, simply because that he used to see his father doing it, but in a manner, that was just, but he wanted to, do it extremely so, and yet it costed him as a leader, Madiba doesn't drink. He never started drinking because he knows it was not good for them. They were taught not to, Yeah, if our fathers do things, they smoke, they drink, they enjoy themselves the way they do, it's okay for them. They are money to do that. They are old enough to do such things. It doesn't mean we also should try imitate them on those things. We need to wait up for our turn and our time, so we do things at the right time, at the right place, and we'll get blessed by even the Almighty, because our parents are our source of life, we hear because of them. So if now in turn all that we do is to put them, in positions that make them to question themselves as to having brought us into this life, it lowers our lifespan. Even in the Bible, it says you ought to put your parents first, not God. God himself says, respect your parents, and then you earning yourself much long to live. But start being disrespectful to your parents, you will hear someone got shot, someone got hit by a car, someone just, all sorts of things. And the very same people are to do the funeral arrangements for you on your behalf. So we just nothing as parents, I mean as kids, we're nothing without our parents. We need to give room for our parents to educate us, to shout at us, to punish us, we'll see that when we grow up, it was for the good of us, not